The chairman of the Small Business Committee, Mr. Williams, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Secretary, for being here. This may be a little easier on you here. I'll try to move it fast forward. The Chinese Communist Party has enabled their economy to serve as a central hub for money laundering, human trafficking, and the export of chemicals used to manufacture fentanyl. Increasingly, Chinese nationals and financial works have informed operational alliances with Mexican drug cartels, providing laundering services, digital payment platforms, and chemical shipments that fuel the trafficking of fentanyl across our southern border. These criminal partnerships exploit the international financial system and pose a direct threat to U.S. national security, public health, and financial integrity. So my question, Mr. Secretary, is can you elaborate on the steps Treasury is taking to disrupt the flow of illicit financing, money laundering, and drug trafficking between Chinese entities and Mexican drug cartels?
Thank you, Congressman, for that very important question. And note that they are interlinked, that the Chinese provide precursor drugs that are then converted into fentanyl by the Mexican cartels. And just today, I signed an order that will be made public within the next few days, identifying Chinese entities who are engaged in the fentanyl trade.
Great. Far too long, China has taken advantage of the international financial system and has become the world's largest creditor. The IMF and World Bank's focus on climate and social initiatives has resulted in a lack of accountability for the Chinese unreliable economic data, currency manipulation, and opaque predatory lending practices. In addition to the lack of accountability, this shift in focus to climate has forced many developing countries to turn to Chinese financing. The United States must leverage its leadership of the world stage to counter China's growing influence as a global lender and put an end to the deceptive economic practices. So, Secretary, how is Treasury working to prevent IMF and the World Bank resources from indirectly legitimizing China's debt trap diplomacy and economic oppression?
Well, Congressman, in various ways. One, as you would have noticed, I would have said that when this horrible Russia-Ukraine conflict ends, that no country or person who financed the Russian war machine will be eligible for any rebuild in Ukraine, especially that financed by the World Bank or any of the other multilateral development banks. Also, we are working with the OECD especially to look at, and the IMF and the World Bank, to look at the true debt levels for these countries. Everyone agrees, or everyone save one country agrees that this is a problem, that there are rapacious mineral deals, that there are tolling arrangements, and it is impossible to know and assist a country that has experienced economic hardship when we don't know the true levels or if there is an undisclosed priority payment to another creditor.
Let me try to get to my last question. I was encouraged to hear that you are taking a fresh look at the bank regulatory framework to better reflect actual risk and ensure a level playing field across the financial system. And as part of that review, I hope you'll consider where U.S. regulations may be putting banks and financial institutions at a disadvantage compared to our foreign competitors. In particular, I urge you to weigh the combined impact of proposals like Basel III Endgame, the GSIB surcharge, and leverage requirements, especially whether these changes could limit banks' ability to support the economy and compete globally. So in your work so far, are there any specific areas where you plan to address these concerns about regulatory putting U.S. institutions at a disadvantage, such as in the reproposal of the Basel III Endgame rule by amending the GSIB surcharge regulation?
Congressman, we are looking across all areas and know that this is at the top of our agenda, that most countries have very concentrated banking systems. In many cases, the banking systems are larger than the GDP of the countries, so they have very different needs than the United States. The strength of the United States, lending and capital markets and economy, is the breadth and depth of our financial institutions, and we will continue to advocate for them both at home and abroad.
Thank you for your service. I think you're doing a great job. I yield back.